What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. We working though. Just wanted to do a quick live stream. What up, y'all? Just got back. Ran a couple errands. We building stuff. You know, we got to get all the way right. Jose, what's good? Man, the walls are closing in like I told y'all. Y'all never listen. It's cold as fucking New York. Man, it's cool out here in Cali right now. It was cold and rainy. Listen, let's talk about it, because this one's probably not going to be too long. Bob Arum of Top Rank, founder, president or whatever, not president, CEO. He did an interview with BBC Radio 5. This is what he said regarding the heavyweight division. In the United States, if you ask who is the number one heavyweight or who the number one heavyweight is, I think many people will say Tyson Fury. He needs to really desperately to come fight in the United States. And I say that not because I'm an American. I say that because economically, the U.S. market is still the most important, because the pay-per-view model in the United States has a potential of 200 million, 150 million homes, right? He also says that basically Joshua fights against no hopers in the UK, and it damages credibility. Per Arum. Wow. And I heard previously Arum said that Tyson Fury is number one and Wilder's number two. So listen, this is I really love what I do, man. Once again, you look at what we do over here, new media, and you look at old media. How come more and more people so I gotta gloat a little bit. New media has been consistent. We cover everything. We're fair on these topics. How come the standpoint that I took from the beginning has not altered? I have not bended. I have not folded. I have not been proven wrong. I have not wilted in any sort of way. And now you see more and more people say what I've been saying for months. Let old media tell it, oh, Wilder needs to fight Dillian White. They're not even saying that. No one, the people that were saying that and running around saying Wilder's ducking Dillian White, they're not even talking about that now. Because fast forward to the future, Dillian White might go over to PBC or Frank Warren or somewhere else. So that talking point is gone. The 50 million being fake is pretty much gone. People they've already come to the table and said that, the money was real. And slowly but surely, you're seeing more and more people go out on the limb, public figures in boxing, saying what I've been saying from the fucking jump, what I've been telling you. And like I said, let old media tell it. They're making videos. I told you what was coming. Listen, nobody likes to be wrong. I don't like to be wrong, but I'm a man, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I never felt I was wrong in this particular situation, because it was all based on what I was seeing, what I was hearing, what was laid out in front of the table. It was nothing personal. It's all business. Word to Nino Brown. And old media is looking shaky as ever. Parkinson's, they looking real shaky. I don't know. What they said is just, it's not holding any weight. It's not holding up. Wilder's ducking Dillian White. There's nobody, I haven't seen anybody making no recent videos talking about Wilder's ducking Dillian White. In fact, no disrespect to Dillian White, but you don't really fight Luis Ortiz and then Tyson Fury, but be afraid to fight Dillian White. You know what I'm saying? Because Luis Ortiz is a definite, you know, when he was undefeated, even now, you know, that's a definite hard fight for anybody. So you wouldn't really like, hey, I'm gonna fight Luis Ortiz, but that's, you know, that doesn't make sense. Man, shake and bake. Shake and bake. It's looking ugly for old media. Now Arum saying the same shit. I mean, he's been, shout out to Arum. Bob Arum has been kind of calling this down the middle and saying little stuff like that. But now he's just even more outright. He said Joshua, you know, he damaged his credibility. Straight up, that's his words. And it's beyond a thing where you can't before, like, listen to everything old media said. They said, oh, it's you bloody Yanks, you fucking Americans and shit house dossers. Then Lennox Lewis, he's under fire. You know, Lennox Lewis is under fire for speaking his mind and saying the same shit everybody's saying. You know, and they're looking at him like he's a traitor. And then, you know, Eddie Hearn's saying, oh, yeah, he's just saying that because Joshua didn't sign with him. So, yeah, it has nothing to do with telling the truth. It just has something to do with he's angry because someone didn't sign with him. I'm sure that hasn't been the first time, and I'm sure it hasn't been, it won't be the last time. This is what Lennox Lewis put the other day. I think I was in Vegas still covering the Broner fight. Look, this is what Lennox Lewis put. Don King with a, he put Eddie Hearns with a Don King hairdo. Only in America. Now that's funny. He put Eddie Hearns' face with a fucking Don King nappy fro. Wow. That's Lennox Lewis, bro. It's a wrap. Old media, y'all might as well just pack it in. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. You might as well just pack it up. Y'all motherfuckers is donezo. Like I said, I want to see them make them videos now. They was trying to go tit for tat every time I had a video. They was making videos. Let's see them do videos, talk about what they've been talking about. See, you notice one thing. New media on this side, the real side. I'm still talking about the same shit I've been talking about. Last year, this year, it carried over. The stuff they're talking about, they got to come up with new talking points or, you know, switch to other fights and, you know, start talking about Mikey and Errol Spence because they can't talk about the same stuff because they look foolish. Like Ashanti, they look foolish. We don't look foolish. We never have regarding this situation. They look crazy. You know, and this is what happens when you follow just anybody's lead and you just go off of what someone says, knowing the shit ain't adding up, knowing the shit is not matching up. This is what you're stuck with. You know, now you Tom Hanks and Castaway. You in no man's land on an island by yourself with, you know, with a few other idiots, you know, and people who will refuse to see the truth. Jesse Rincon, $2 super chat. What up, ego? Jesse, what's poppin'? Thank you. They keep getting served with death. Barry Hearns do an interview, death blow. Frank Warren drills Barry Hearn on the radio, death blow. You know, Eddie Hearn says Fury versus Tyson Fury versus Wilder is not going to happen. Then the fight is announced. Then he says it's still not going to happen. Then it happens and it's an instant classic, death blow. You know, Joshua has been telling people for months, oh, April 13th, I got Wembley. I got the date. I got the venue. Now they're talking about backing off of the date and the venue. What? You know, before the fight, Eddie Hearns, when he was negotiating with the Wilder fight last year, before the Povetkin fight was forced or whatever, he said Wembley wouldn't be ready in September. So now we got to look at Cardiff. You know, the only other stadium in October, November. And then when the Wilder fight fell out, all of a sudden Eddie Hearn reverted back to Wembley was an option in September. I have audio where he says we can't fight in Wembley in September. They took too long, basically. Man, it's looking, it's like I said, might as well just pack it in. Now you have, he said we baptizing old media. This has been like, it's, man, this is like Badu Jack cut. This is ugly. This is deep. You know, this is that cut that Badu Jack had. You know, it's looking ugly, man. It's looking real ugly. You know, like I said, let's see them do videos talking about the same shit. And this is what happens when you talk that bullshit. Now you look like a fucking fool because nobody in the industry is saying what you were saying. You know, maybe before all the facts were out, there weren't so many people like coming to the plate and explaining it. Tyson Fury saying this. Luis Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz is saying this. Wilder obviously has been saying this. Shelly Finkel's been saying this. Bob Arum is now and has been for a little while saying the same thing. New Media, Ego is saying the same thing. You know, Dante's Boxing Age saying the same thing. Right? And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Lennox Lewis saying the same thing. Gerald Big Baby Miller said the same thing. Dillian White saying the same. It's a wrap for y'all. I don't see any type of recovery. And to the fans, you know, the fans who turn a blind eye to this, I don't consider y'all fans. Like, I don't care if they unsubscribe from my channel right now. Straight up. I don't want fans like that. These fake ass fans that know these other channels, these other writers, these other people that have purposefully been saying the wrong shit, you know, going against the grain, not revealing the truth and what they really see. And then you gonna just keep watching their channel like, you know, like nothing changed when they have lost all credibility. I don't respect that. As a man, I don't respect that. You know? Now, if those channels or writers or whoever was saying the bullshit come clean and say, whoa, you know what? Because I have had people do that. I've had people say where like, oh, when you were saying that stuff about the Joshua fight, I didn't believe you, but now I see you were right. You know? So if they do that, something like that, that's like the hot seat. It's like waving the white flag. If they wave the white flag at this point, then whatever. You know, people make mistakes. But the people who just skip past it, you know, and then just ignore that what the fuck they've been saying, I don't respect them, and I don't respect the people who knowingly, like if you're new to their channel or their articles or whatever, and you didn't know that they said this type of stuff, that's one thing. But the people who know what they've been saying and how they were getting down and the lies they were spreading, the propaganda and the agenda and shit like that, and then they're just gonna ignore it, I don't respect it. I'm telling you, this is too damaging to come back from. There's too many inconsistencies. That's just what it is. Like, I don't care if you're from the UK, Mexico, USA, Argentina. I don't care where you're from. Truth is the truth, and the real people see it. Now, like I said, now you got Bob Arum, who's been in the business since before I was born, before a lot of you guys were probably born. You know, he has more years in the business. Now, I'm not saying everything Arum says is factual or, you know, that he doesn't have his own issues, because clearly, you know, he said certain things that I don't necessarily agree with, whatever. But, you know, with this, I agree with him. And what I've noticed is when the fight, when something with Arum particularly, if it don't have nothing to do with him or his stable or his competitor, like directly, he'll usually give it a fair shake. It's just like Carl Froch. Carl Froch has a lot of good boxing insight, unless you ask him about Andre Ward. If you ask him about Andre Ward, then me personally, I don't really care what Carl Froch is saying about Andre Ward, because he's always hating. Like if it's about anything else, then it's probably good, you know, good wisdom and good knowledge and, you know, a fair breakdown. But for whatever reason, he has a grudge from losing the award, and I feel like he doesn't give Andre Ward any type of fair shake. But I feel like Arum's kind of like that too. If you're talking about a fighter like Lomachenko or Mikey or something, you know, who knows what he's gonna say, you know. But if it, you know, the heavyweight, he's not managing the careers of none of these people like Joshua, Wilder, or Tyson Fury. So You know, I agree with him here. Joshua's credibility has taken a hit, period. Shout out to Eric 415, the Bay Area way. He said we flipped that narrative on Eddie. See, that's what I'm saying. He thought, like, I really feel like Eddie thought it was sweet where he's like, I'm just going to take over and, you know, just thought he's going to bamboozle, you know, fast talk the world. But that's not how it goes, you know. There's so much. There's just so many things. Like if we did like a police interrogation with Team Joshua where they were forced to like do a lie detector test or something, you know, a polygraph, I'll take one, you know, let's do it. Ask me about Wilder Joshua situation and strap me up to a lie detector test. And then let's, you know, and how about this? I'll pay for everybody's lie detector test if I fail. And if they pass and I fail, then I'll pay for it. For every test. You know what I'm saying? But I know I stand by the shit I've been saying. I still do. I still feel that. And I know what they're doing. You know, they're trying to switch the narrative and stuff. And I know they don't really believe it. They know Anthony Joshua literally said the week he was in town for the Canelo fight, he's like, they're trying to switch the tables on me. And like, AJ left out in the cold. He's out in the cold. So Eddie Hearn, you know, crying for sympathy, like saying, oh, why won't he return my emails? I mean, you know the game plan. AJ knows the game plan. He just said it. He literally said, now that they're fighting each other, they're like, oh, let's leave AJ out in the cold. He was, I can think of, this is what I'm saying, my memory's pretty good. I can think of the setting. He was in New York. It looked like he was in like some kind of condo or Airbnb. There was a window behind him, and he was doing an interview. And he was like, you know. And like I said, you look at Canelo, another star in boxing. Canelo's fighting a very meaningful fight on DAZN. He wanted to fight Jacobs. Jacobs wanted to fight. Fight was made. For some reason, when it comes to Joshua, Joshua keeps telling the world he doesn't want to fight Alexander Povetkin. He keeps saying that he doesn't want to fight Kubrat Pulev. He doesn't want to fight this guy or that guy. He wants Dillian White, or no, not Dillian White, Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. He said he wanted Luis Ortiz. Nancy Castro was good. But he's not getting those fights. So, you know, what's the deal? How is it that Canelo is commanding his career and getting what he wants? But then when it comes to Joshua, I mean, he just can't seem to get it. It's just everybody else's fault. Everybody else is just pricing themselves out. I don't believe that. So you mean to tell me Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Dillian White all priced themselves out? So 4 completely separate people, completely separate teams, you know, people who aren't necessarily even on the same side of the street, same side of the fence. They all price themselves out, and the only person that isn't is Gerald Big Baby Miller. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. But that's what they're trying to tell, and that's the narrative. But and see, and the other thing is, I think this is almost a rude awakening for Eddie Hearns, because here's the thing. It's like a rude awakening, in my opinion, because let's say you're from a small town. If you're from a small town with 7,000 people, then everybody pretty much, you know, I'm talking about those towns that have like 1 or 2 traffic lights, and you know, they don't really have that many stores, you know, just a real small community. You look at places like that, and everybody's in each other's business because it's a small knit community. Like if somebody goes off to college, everybody knows about it, your neighbors. If someone goes to jail, everybody knows. Like, you know, somebody gets arrested for domestic violence, everybody knows, because information spreads in such a small community. Now, I lived in the UK. I used to live in England, and it's much different. Everything, like public transportation is big over there. People aren't afraid to take the bus. You know, people take public transportation. People ride bikes. In America, in the big cities, you don't always see that. You know, people now they have Ubers and rideshare, but most people do that, or if they have their own car, they drive their own shit. You know, some people take public transportation, but it's not, they don't do it when they have vehicles a lot of times. A lot of people that I know that take the bus, they're taking the bus because that's their only way to get around. Like they don't have a car, but it's different in like different places. So each place is unique to that place. Shout out to Anthony Pascal, $2 super chat. You right, Miller would get the raw deal. Shout out to you, Anthony. So, you know, each place is different. And I think it's a rude awakening for Eddie Hearns because he's getting to see the games you play and the stuff you say in a much smaller place like the UK that you can get away with. You can't get away with in America. It's not the same place. It's two different. Like, you could say something and, like, let's say you work good with Johnny Nelson and Sky Sports. They might not say nothing. When they see you, you know, they might not challenge like, hey, you said this. But then when every single time Anthony Joshua or Eddie Hearns comes to America and they're in a forum like where it's like multiples of like media from different places in America, they get tougher questions. Has anyone noticed that? It's always tougher questions. Like if AJ goes to a Derek Chisora, Dillian White 2 fight and he gets interviewed by Sky Sports, he never really gets asked anything on the spot, like, you know, anything tough. But when he came out to the Canelo Fielding fight, you know, DAZN, shout out to DAZN and Chris Mannix, he was asking him tougher questions. He's like, yeah, but haven't you just decided, like, since you want these fights, to just go up to Eddie Hearns and say, make these fights. I need these fights next. And Anthony Joshua was like, to be honest with you, I did do that. But he's still not getting the fight. So, anyway, there's a disconnect somewhere. You know, when Anthony Joshua... You know what it reminds me of? It's like somebody... And I'm not saying... Joshua could fight, for sure. There's not a question. But so take this analogy a little bit loosely. It's like somebody who can't really sing, or they can sing like okay, but amongst their close family and friends, their family and friends are telling them like, oh man, you got the gift, you're really gonna make it. And they're like gassing them up, you know what I'm saying? And when they go on like Star Search or American Idol or The Voice or some shit like that, their singing is just... Is you know, it's not Whitney Houston. It's not nothing like earth shattering. You get what I'm saying? So now that if they've been coddled from their people closest to them, like their family, and people say, hey, you need to work on this, or your pitch is off, or you didn't really sound good holding that note, and nobody's gonna keep it real with them in that way, then it's gonna be like shell shock when they go on one of those shows, and then you have Diddy, and he's like, nah, I wasn't feeling that. Take that. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be himself or be cutthroat because you're on a game show. So that's how I feel with Anthony Joshua. He's coddled a little bit in the UK. Like when they do interviews, they ask him softball questions, like shit that, you know, doesn't get it to popping and really give us any insight. But every time he comes to America, take that. Nah, baby, I wasn't feeling that, baby. You suck, baby. Take that. You know? So he's been coddled a little bit. Sky Sports, I never seen Sky Sports challenge something he said. Be like, hey, wait a minute, but what about this? It's always like, oh, let's protect our investment type shit. But then when he'll come to DAZN or whatever and have a press conference in New York, he getting all types of different questions. It looked like he was trying to... Blue Blood was there. It looked like he was trying to dip out. Like he was like, all right. It looked like he was trying to get out of Dodge because the questions were definitely tougher. AJ is not afraid to fight anyone. You can say whatever you want, but my question to you is this. Why is he saying he wants to fight the guys we all want him to fight and they're not happening? So you could justify it any type of way you want. Shout out to Compton, Hub City, Bay Area. You know, Bay to LA, California shit is still California. Shout out to Hub City, CPT. Let's get it. So whatever reason you want to use, He's not fighting the fight that he's claiming he wants and the fight that he knows that the fans want him to fight. Nobody really asked for a Gerald Big Baby Miller right now, you know? And while you bullshitting, Eddie Hearn would have been better off. See, this is the thing. I feel like Eddie Hearns is trying to. I feel like people want to beat Al Heyman. They're not going to admit that they want to beat Al Heyman, but they wish they had the stable Al Heyman and was putting together some of the big fights like Al Heyman. I really feel like that, you know. And even though it's just like YouTube, motherfuckers diss me but be copying from me. Watch it, peep the people who diss me, motherfucker. I inspired. You know how many YouTubers I inspired to do this shit? Like, stop playing with me. You know, same thing with Al Heyman. He inspired people to you know, build their stable or get better network deals and stuff, but then they be dissing him. But anyway, I feel like Eddie Hearns, he wants to have that big fights. He wants to have like the, you know, fights everyone's talking about, stuff like that. And the thing is, he could have made some stronger fights. To me, I would have much rather seen Dillian White versus Gerald Big Baby Miller. Dillian White versus Gerald Big Baby Miller than Dillian White, Derek Chisora 2. But what Eddie Hearn's trying to do, he's trying to, you know, play around and like make certain fight. Now he see, this is the thing. He messed up the sauce, because what if Dillian White, Mr. Case by Case basis, what if he go to PBC? Now you don't know if you can make Dillian White versus Gerald Big Baby Miller. But that would have been, and see, this is the thing. Real boxing heads would have been like, okay, the winner of that, okay, if Wilder's already fighting Fury, you know, people want to see Joshua fight Luis Ortiz. But if Gerald Big Baby Miller beat Dillian White, vice versa, if Dillian White beat Gerald Big Baby Miller in December on Sky Sports pay-per-view or Showtime, you know, in the States, I feel like people wouldn't be like down on AJ about fighting the winner of that. They'd be like, oh, that's a good fight. But what Eddie Hearns did is he tried to stretch it, you know, and put some in there. Gerald Miller versus Dogman Dinu and Derek Chisora versus Dillian White 2. Dillian White, I thought he lost the first Chisora fight, but you could have made that immediate rematch. You know, people said Chisora was done in the Takam fight, and because he came around and knocked him out, you try to like, oh shit, now I gotta make this, you know, thinking you can make a couple quick bucks on it. And maybe you did, but at the end of the day, now it hurts your main cash cow. So you're better off putting Dillian White in there with Luis Ortiz, you know, or Gerald Big Baby Miller, hell, maybe even a Dominic Brazil, you know, and then the winner fighting AJ wouldn't have been considered as bad. Do you get what I'm saying? I would have much rather seen Dillian White versus Gerald Miller. That could be an epic shit-talking build-up. And, like, just look at how Gerald Big Baby Miller pushed up on AJ. And look at Dillian White. I seen an interview where he was talking about Gerald Big Baby Miller. And he was like, who? He's the clumps, the nutty professor. That's what he was calling him, the clumps. He's a fat cabbage. That's what he said. So that would have been an epic build-up, and I think it would have been a good, fun fight, and it would have been more meaningful. But no, Eddie Hearn didn't want to do that. He wanted to extend it. You know, like, it's just like, it's like the dope game. You know, anybody who knows about the dope game or watch documentaries or whatever, what happens is you'll get a brick, right? The people will get a brick, and what they'll do is, instead of just like chopping it and having it in its rawest, purest form, they'll mix it with something, right? To stretch it. So now they can, you know, they can sell more and make more of a profit, which is cool. But the thing is, if you mix it, you know, if you mix it and you dilute it too much, then it's going to be weak. because you're so busy trying to make a profit, you're watering down your product. Does that make sense to you guys? You gotta cut, cousin. No, I get it. You could cut, but here's what I'm saying. You could cut. Some people don't cut. Motherfucker be having that black, that blue magic. But what I'm saying, that's cool to cut it, but some people try too hard to cut it. You get what I'm saying? To the point where it dilutes it, to the point where it's not even as strong as it could be, right? That's kind of what Eddie Hearn, how he does it. It's not, he's not doing the perfect cut. See, the real doughboys, I'm sure they have the perfect cut. You know, they know how much to mix it with, you know, flour, baking soda, all that. They know all the specs to make it fluffy and, you know, how that shit stepped on, right? But what Eddie Hearn is doing is he's diluting it too much. Like, nobody really asked for Dillian White versus Derek Chisora 2. You know, that's not the sauce. Dillian White had come a long way since that fight. I thought he lost it, but you waited 2 years. You know, Derek Chisora, he beat Takam after Povetkin knocked him out, after Joshua knocked him out, you know, and then that's the fight because he tried to stretch it too much. And that's what Eddie Hearns is trying to do. Making a cut, that's cool, but you trying to stretch it too much to the point where you're weakening the potency of it. You know, Dillian White, he could have fought Dillian White could have fought Gerald Big Ray Miller in December, and if, let's say, Gerald Miller knocked out Dillian White, hypothetically, I don't think as many people would be complaining at Gerald Miller getting the AJ fight in June. You know, some people probably would, but with Wilder fighting Fury, I don't think that as many people would complain, because they would be like, that's a stand-up test. Exactly, and all things don't stretch too much. Exactly. That's true for everything. Like, let's say you make Kool-Aid. You making Kool-Aid. See, I used to have the perfect amount of sugar in my shit. You know, some people would be like eating clam chowder. You know, you eat clam chowder and it feels like sandy and shit. Yeah. You make Kool-Aid and then somebody heavy-handed poured the whole fucking sugar thing. You got big ass clumpy sugar cube chunks in it, and then that shit is way too sweet. So you mess up the formula. That one Kool-Aid pack is only going to be applicable for a certain amount of liquid and a certain amount of sugar, you know. And then now to try to save it, you would have to try to get a bigger pitcher and put more water in it, and this is gonna mess up the flavor, bro, if you put too much sugar in it. Because the only other thing you could do to try to reverse it is, I guess, put more water in it, water it down some. So, and that's, to me, that's where Eddie Hearns is running into trouble with his heavyweights. That's where he's running into trouble, because he's instead of this, it could be such a simple formula and such a simple recipe, and he's like trying to push it like, oh yeah, let's squeeze in Joshua versus Povetkin. Nobody was tripping off of that fight, you know, and it didn't sell out. You know, it didn't do what some of Joshua's previous. That had to show Eddie Hearn something. I really feel that. How's Takam sell more tickets? Kubrat Pulev / Takam. How did that sell more tickets than the Povetkin fight? And Povetkin knocked out Takam. Answer that question. I'll wait. So, in my opinion, Povetkin was actually a better fight than Pulev or Takam, because Pulev, he got knocked out by Klitschko, and Povetkin lost to Klitschko, but he didn't get knocked out. So as far as I'm concerned, AJ versus Kubrat Pulev or Takam, you know, that either guy is a lesser fight than the Povetkin, but that has to show you something, that the Povetkin fight sold less than that. That shows you that the fans are getting tired of it. They're getting tired of not getting to see what they want, you know, and that's what happens when you try to string it along and like try to do it your way. Like, I'm so, like, real talk, as a real boxing fan, I fuck with Canelo. I'm so happy he's doing what he's doing right now. He's young, you know, women like him. He's in charge. He had this astronomical record-breaking contract, and he's fighting a legit in his second fight with this new deal. You know, and you can say he was forced by DAZN or whatever. He's fighting a legit, credible name that should be a really good fight. I fuck with Canelo for that. Not saying he always got it. Like 2016, it was looking a little bit shaky for Nello. It was looking shaky, you know, fighting Khan and Liam Smith. But fast forward 3 years, where he's at right now, he looks like he's getting better. He's in shape. He's disciplined. He got a crazy deal. And to me, he made the right decision. Win, loser, draw. See, and this is the thing that people, they don't, I don't know if they get it and they just pretend they don't get it or whatever. The boxing fans are cool. People, if Canelo really does lose to Jacobs, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. They'll be happy that he did it. Like, you know what I mean? People are going to be mad if he loses. But same thing with Jacobs. If Jacob loses to Canelo, who's going to really give him shit to lose to a guy like Canelo? You know, who's going to give Canelo issue to lose to? It's not like he's losing to some unknown. You know, these are top tier, top 3 middleweights right now. And that's the sauce. You know, the formula could be so simple. Same thing with Tyson Fury. Even if Tyson Fury got knocked out in that 12th round, it's a setback, but at the end, no one's like tripping. He held a good account of himself, and he challenged himself, and it's one loss. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with Wilder. If he would have lost, then he would have lost. But it's, you do yourself more, taking that risk, people respect it more. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's the same thing with Joshua. If he fought the people that people are asking them to fight, do your best. You know, hopefully you beat him or try to beat him, and then just keep it rocking. But the stuff that they're doing, it's not a good look. And see, for me as a human, the worst thing to me is when someone insults my intelligence, because I've always got good grades in school and been like street smart as well as like book smart, academic, like historically. Go look at my like old report cards and shit. And I hate when people insult my intelligence. You get what I'm saying? And like when you trying to flip it, like you're the culprit, and then you trying to flip it, you or your team trying to flip it like Wilder's the one that hasn't been screaming on you, and he's the one that's ducking you and signed a contract, big boy. Come on. Like, let's be real. And like I said, look at Canelo. How is he in charge of his career and getting what he wants? Fighting the best in the division, you know, or one of them in Daniel Jacobs. But AJ just keeps telling the world he wants to not fight Povetkin, not fight Takam, not fight Pulev. But these are the guys he's fighting. I don't want to fight Gerald Miller. But this is who you're probably going to fight. He keeps saying he wants to fight Wilder, Fury, and, you know, these crazy. It's just a bad look. You know, Joshua not going to Wilder, Fury fight. That he could have showed face, and then that would have at least looked like, you know, you was with the shit, like you was something. But he told the world that I'm not going. Then he told the world that I'm going to bed on top of that. You know, and then after Mr. Sleepy Time T, you know, admitted that he wasn't going and said he couldn't stay up to watch it, then he starts calling them out, like after they have a draw and talking about a rematch. It's just, to me, it's like the worst chronological order that the things could have happened in. Like if Wilder would have knocked out Fury, then that would have been cool, because, you know, I don't know if the rematch would have been needed right away. But the fact that they extended it with a competitive draw that's arguable, you know, they found a niche. And then now AJ's out here taking a back seat. And you heard it. Bob Arum saying it. He said AJ damaged his credibility. I don't know any other better way to put it than Mr. Arum. He damaged his credibility. And Fury, people respect it because they knew what he was up against. They knew he battled personal demons and mental health and obesity, basically. Lost all the weight. He did everything. And then and on top of that, he gave Wilder a tough ass fight. You know, one of Wilder's toughest fights. On top of anything else. People respect shit like that. So, I don't know. It's looking to wrap for old media. I want to see them do videos. All the shit they were saying, oh, it's not AJ's fault and Wilder's scared and ducking and all that. And hold up. I forgot to tell y'all this. Wilder was just at the Broner-Pacquiao fight. Right? He was at the Dominic Breazeale-Charlo fight. I have footage, and I have never even released it because I was just running around, but I have it on my memory card. And they were showing Deontay Wilder so much love. I got all the footage of it. This was in New York. He's not from New York. And they was just like, Bomb Squad! Like, people in the crowd. Because he was just walking on the floor, like ringside, going back to his seats with his, I don't know if it's his cousin. I don't know who dude is, but I know it's, someone he's real tight with. But anyway, he's walking to his seat, and everyone's like, Wilder! Bomb Squad, and screaming and shit like that. Eddie Hearn's plan has backfired miserably, because Deontay Wilder's profile has definitely been boosted throughout this whole thing. Eddie Hearns was trying so hard to relegate and to make his fighter look so supreme, like such an A-side, and make Wilder look like he's a peasant. But it didn't turn out like that, because now Wilder, is getting more love than he's ever gotten. So that, I don't know any other better definition than the term backfired, because that's the exact opposite of what you were hoping would happen. They doing remixes to this day, And see, the other thing Bob Arum says is AJ keeps fighting no hopers. That's not a good look. You have a prominent guy with a platform, in boxing, and he's saying that AJ keeps fighting, Joshua's fighting no hopers. And he damaged his profile, basically. So I can't wait for old media. I can't see, but see, this is the thing, is they're not gonna, this is what they do. Once they've been proven wrong, some of them get real radical, like, oh, watch the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight in slow motion, you'll see the truth, and they'll just live and die by the sword and just, pretend like they still believe what they believe. But then most of them will just try to skim past it and hope people forget, forget all the stuff that they said. We ain't forgetting, though. And just since we're being so transparent, Eddie Hearns, what has he really brought to DAZN? Like, in terms of like major attention, what major attention? Both of Joshua's fight, his biggest performer or the biggest name that Eddie Hearns has brought to DAZN, people aren't even happy with the guys that it looks like he's going to fight. They weren't really happy with the Povetkin fight. And then he's about to fight Gerald Big Baby Miller, it looks like. And people, are like, I haven't seen no crazy excitement over that. Right? So it's like, what did Eddie Hearns really bring to DAZN to get like a bunch of subscribers on the platform? Canelo did more work because he fought in New York, and that made some noise, and people got free trials and stuff. And then now he's fighting a real one in Daniel Jacobs, and people are stoked about it. You know, Eddie Hearn didn't even put Derek Chisora, Dillian White. You know, they got outbid by Showtime. So that wasn't even on the list. I hope Miller beat the shit out of AJ if they fight. Shit, he might, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. But Miller's like 317 and he throws a lot of punches. So, you know, we have to see how it plays out. I'm just keeping it real. You know, like Eddie Hearn, like your biggest star, people aren't even content with who you have him fighting on DAZN. They're like, okay, if AJ fights Gerald Miller, then his fights made less noise than Canelo's 2 fights on DAZN. Does anyone disagree with that? Does anyone believe that Canelo Fielding and Canelo Jacobs has made less noise than AJ versus Povetkin, AJ versus Gerald Miller? If you look at those 2 fights collectively, Canelo clearly made more noise. So I don't know, man. It just and this is the thing with Joshua. Like I said, he's a good fighter. It didn't have to be like this. He could have just. I don't know what who it is. Like if it's Barry Hearns mostly, Eddie Hearns mostly, AJ mostly. I don't know, but I know it's someone affiliated with that side. You know. And like I said, AJ is like a Canelo, Conor McGregor type of fighter for what he does for a rematch room. So he has to be able to have some type of say so in his opponent. So, you know, I don't, when you're making that much money for your promoter, how do you have no jurisdiction over your career at all? You know, like Conor McGregor started getting proper 12, like to sponsor getting paid and proper 12 whiskey on the UFC card for the official drink and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how does AJ have no say-so? He keeps saying he wants to fight Wilder and Fury, but for whatever reason, none of these fights are happening. Then that's a problem with your team. Because Canelo, he told his team to get Jacobs' ass to sign, and somehow, some way they did. Same thing with Golovkin. So you see how Golovkin was like, hey, no, guys, I want more percent. When Triple G in the rematch, he said he wanted 50-50. They're like, nah, hell no, we ain't giving you. And then he was like, all right, 45%. And then they said, we're not giving you that. And then Triple G was acting like he wasn't going to take the Canelo fight. Oscar found a way to get it done. He said he put up some of his own money. So how come Eddie Hearns and Barry Hearns is not finding somehow, some way to get these major fights done that Anthony Joshua is claiming he wants? You know, not even Luis Ortiz. Joshua said himself he wants to fight Luis Ortiz. He said he wanted to fight Luis Ortiz. Let me guess, Luis Ortiz priced himself out. It can't be. Listen, either you being stingy with the pot or something. But all these people can't be just like. Shout out to these. Look at these. This that new shit, that exclusive. No, there's no way. Everyone's Dillian White's pricing himself out. Deontay Wilder's pricing himself out. Tyson Fury, his promoter said it was a derisory offer. You know, Luis Ortiz is pricing it. Come on, bro. That you're not trying to give no fair offer or something. You offering peanuts. Because how did Jacob sign? He's touched money before. How did he sign with Canelo? How did they get Triple G? I know he probably didn't come cheap. And it's always the best fights for Joshua that aren't happening. Somehow you negotiate with Joseph Parker, Eric Molino, all these other fights, no issue. Jose out of pocket. This is the other thing. Some of y'all don't think about it like this, but I do. Just hear this out. This is part of what makes Al Heyman so powerful. He's a fucking ghost. All he does is have his minions and people set the shit up publicly, do interviews, publicly be at the fights. You know, he might be in the fights like, you know, in some secret room or trap door or some shit, but you don't really see him. He's not all in the video, you know. He's just kind of like, you know, talking to the fighters on a one-on-one basis and stuff. But anyway, that's what makes him so powerful. Al Heyman ain't out here contradicting himself and saying like this and that and then switching it and then taking it back and then saying something else and then getting caught up in a lot. You know, he's smart. He not dealing with none of that. He don't have no type of pressure. Nobody even knows, except for me. I heard him. Nobody even knows what he sounds like, you know, except for these fighters. Most of you guys would not know what he sound like if y'all didn't hear me try to mimic his voice. You get what I'm saying? So he's doing his fighters a service because all he's doing, like Broner, he had the opportunity to beat Pacquiao. You get what I'm saying? So Al can't fight for you, but he could put you in a position to fight Pacquiao. And then if Broner would have beat Pacquiao, then that would have been, that would have erased everything. You know, the Maidana fight, nobody would be really worried about that if he beat Pacquiao, but he didn't, you know. Same thing with Pacquiao. He's advising Pacquiao. Pacquiao extended his career. You know, he got $10 million guaranteed plus the back end money. So, yeah, Al's a silent killer. But see, Al, one thing he's not doing is getting in the mix to the point where it looks messy or sloppy on his behalf and his fighter's profile is being drugged through the mud. Like people, like let's say the Charlo. I was at the Charlo's fight. Good fights, competitive fights. People felt the type of way. You know, I thought the Charlos won the fight, but they were definitely competitive, right? But this was their performance. It wasn't like Al Heyman said this and then took it back and said it. So I feel like if anything, whatever is going on with these fighters like Broner, it's if people are mad at Broner, it's his performance or it's what he said to Jim Gray or what he said to Al Bernstein. But when it comes to Joshua, people are actually getting mad at things his team is doing as well. You know, they're getting mad at Joshua too, but it's his own team, is Eddie Hearns and Barry Hearns, who will say certain things in an interview and people are like, hey, that don't make sense. So if anything, them saying these things is almost making it look worse for him. Does that make sense to you guys? See, and that's the beauty of what Al Heyman is doing is if somebody looks bad, a fighter looks bad, you can't say it's because of Al Heyman. Like in terms of name a PBC fighter that's ducking and it's Al Heyman made it look bad or made it look worse. Does that make sense to you? Like Al Heyman's not getting on the mic contradicting himself and shit. So he's not really a fact. Like he's not negatively impacting and influencing the fighter's public perception. I think that's the strong way to put it. He's not negatively influencing the fighter's public perception. He's not taking someone's profile and then making sure the media and the fans who are paying attention drag it through the mud because of things he said. Because he's not saying anything. And I would rather that than the what's happening with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearns is saying things that is making it look bad for Joshua, on top of Joshua saying things that make it look bad for Joshua. That's a problem. You know, Eddie Hearns is saying stuff like, oh, the Wilder Fury fight, that's not going to happen. And then it gets scheduled or announced, Fury's going to pull out. That's making it look bad for the whole team, because he's saying stuff, because he's a part of it. You know, Al Heyman is at least not doing that. People who are mad at Broner right now, they're mad because Broner went off on Bernstein, how he acted towards Jim Gray, his performance. They're mad for Broner reasons. You know, they're not mad because Al Heyman did something that negatively impacted how the public viewed Broner. Does that make sense to you guys? And I think that's important. Like, what, like, why would your promoter or advisor be having you out there look crazy? But Eddie Hearns is specifically saying stuff like that's hurting Joshua's profile. I don't know, man. I can't think of anything that Al Heyman is doing other than giving these guys the opportunity, because he's like I said, he's off the grid. He's a ghost. Like name something that, here's an example. Name something that Al Heyman did to negatively affect Errol Spence's brand. Name something. Name something Al Heyman has done that people would be like, oh, I don't like Errol Spence because of something that Al Heyman did. Or behavior, or, you know, anything. Name one thing. I want to hear something serious. If you say something dumb, you're getting blocked, because we not here for play. Name one thing that Al Heyman has done to negatively impact the brand of Errol Spence. Exactly. Nothing. New media, we whooping ass. He has not done anything. If anything, he's positively affected Errol Spence, because he's putting him in a prime position. He's on a pay-per-view, and he's putting him in a position to gain a lot of fans. Now, if I flip it on you, name something that Eddie Hearns has said that puts Joshua in a negative light or makes Joshua look bad. Let's see if people can come up with something that Eddie Hearns has said. Name a behavior or something that Eddie Hearns has said that doesn't make Joshua look good. And we'll see if anyone can come up with anything. So we'll flip it. We'll do the reverse. That's fair. I just named a powerful PBC fighter, and we couldn't think of anything that Al Heyman did to negatively like chip away their profile. Eric 415 said, "Where do I start?" See, see, that's what I'm saying. Look, damn, I don't think my screen big enough for that. Real talk. Look, EJ Shipman, he already started his list. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, like I said, I feel like it's almost like a referee, a promoter, advisor, and all that shit. They're kind of like referees. The best referees are people who have complete control over the ring, but you almost feel like they're not there. They're just kind of like a fly on the wall, making sure everything's on the up and up. Oh, get your punches up. The referees that ruin fights are the referees that make stupid ass calls and like stop the fight prematurely or quickly take a point, you know, off of some shit without no warning. And you could tell the referee's there because the referee is the one fucking it up. Like, you look at the Patriots game in the NFL. Referees influence that game. That's the worst one. That's the worst ones, where the referee, you know, bogus calls and shit influence the game. It's almost supposed to be like Eddie Hearns or Al Heyman and all them. In a perfect world, it's like they're not even there. They're just helping navigate your career, promoting your fight, talking you up, you know, stuff like that. But when you could tell that the person is there and it is, especially if it's hurting and then that's probably not good. It's not good that, you know, the promoter, even Bob Arum, I don't agree with everything he says, but he's not really saying anything that makes Lomachenko look bad. What does Bob Arum say? If anything, he's, you know, giving him maybe even too much credit. He's saying that we've never seen anyone as good as him, or he's Muhammad Ali. So Bob Arum's not really doing that. He's not. What has he ever said about Terrence Crawford that makes Crawford look crazy? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not just Al Heyman, because he's an advisor anyway, not a promoter. But like, what did Bob Arum do to hurt Lomachenko's stock? Like Lomachenko, if anything, some people might have said, "Oh, okay, you know, Tank might be able to beat him because of Pedraza performance." That's not because of Bob Arum. You know, it's not like Bob Arum says something and then now people are viewing Lomachenko differently in a negative way. Same thing with Crawford. These are his biggest stars. What has Bob Arum ever said about Terrence Crawford that put him in a precarious situation where he looked crazy? If anything, he's, you know, Bob Arum's doing promoter shit. Oh, he reminds me of Sugar Ray Leonard and blah, blah, blah. And you could argue he's pound for pound with Lomachenko. You know, Bob ain't saying nothing crazy that make people lose respect for Terrence Crawford. And see, this is the thing. Bob Arum's not talking about like everybody outpricing themselves. This is what Team Joshua is doing. They're saying everyone that we want to see is outpricing themselves. And they want more. They want ridiculous amounts and stuff. Not a good look, y'all. Dude, DAZN spends a shit ton of money trying to get all these sports and diversify the app. Now they're being conservative on the boxing negotiations. Because they haven't really probably seen immediate results from boxing, because they don't have no big fight up until the Canelo Jacobs fight. I'm talking about a fight that moves the needle. Canelo Jacobs could do that, you know, but the other fights that they put on, nothing really moves the needle, and you know, it's gonna get like this crazy influx of subscribers. Like ESPN, I just did it on my last live stream. ESPN Plus, they put the TJ Dillashaw fight on ESPN Plus. So they seen in 2 days 586,000 new subscribers in 2 days because people wanted to see that UFC shit. You know, so it's really going to be dependent on the fights that they make. And so far, to me, DAZN hasn't had a mega fight like that. That, like, if you're a UFC fan, that was a good, you know, that TJ Dillashaw card, it was a good fight. You know, Paige Van Zandt was in there with that other girl that got beat up. They both bad too. They both look great, you know. Dillashaw was losing all this weight, so that moves the needle. Canelo Jacobs is probably the first fight to me that really moves the needle that DAZN has had. Whereas, you know, Andrade versus Artur Akov, that's not gonna. What I mean by move the needle is like getting people outside of the people who already have DAZN type shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine, because Canelo's big business. When Canelo fights, people who don't have DAZN right now, who aren't maybe like hardcore boxing everyday watchers like us, who don't be on the YouTube, they might tune in for that fight. The girl against Paige was fine as hell. Yeah, she fine. She Hawaiian. She fine. So, I don't know, man. And the thing is, like, this is my honest opinion. If AJ was fighting the fights the right best, okay, I get it. Wilder Fury is probably not an option for him at this point, right? But if if AJ fought Luis Ortiz, I think that would help move the needle. Now, I'm not saying it'll be as big as Wilder or Tyson Fury fight for AJ, but I think it would be enough of the right type of fight to get people interested, you know, to the point where like, hey, I'm gonna get that fight because I want to see how he looks. I think that's bigger than Gerald Big Baby Miller fight, to be honest. Fight King Kong. But they're not even mentioning King Kong. And truth be told, King Kong is fighting on the Edeslani Lara card, but I think that's in February or something. They're talking about making the Joshua fight in the summer. So realistically, King Kong's not even fighting no crazy person that probably should beat him. So King Kong still should be an option, but I ain't heard nothing about King Kong even being a candidate. But like I said, it's looking real ugly for old media because you can no longer deny what we're seeing. You got people like Bob Arum, Lennox Lewis, Luis Ortiz, Gerald Miller, Dillian White, Wilder, Shelly Finkel. They're all saying the same shit. Ego stay being the truth, sniffs out the bullshit. We got to get to, 2019 boxing. We have a real live platform. Like, boxing's getting big. Like, Broner, I'm seeing a million Broner memes and shit like that. But all that stuff, it sucks that Broner has to be the butt of the joke. But it still boosts boxing because this many people are listening to, I beat that boy. It all that type of stuff. Just like Wilder had that meme to this day. That stuff helps boxing. Hold on, y'all. So, like I said, Joshua can be, I think he could, there's still good fights for him, but it's just a matter of taking them. Eddie Hearns, you gotta do something, baby. I've been saying it. The like Joshua, he needs like more like intense PR. Like, just stop. Like, stop. I would be doing. People are gonna do whatever they want, but here's an example. Eddie Hearns says what went wrong in the first Wilder negotiations. What went wrong was he said he blamed it on Wilder's side too, but he said we were both talking too much and talking too much in the public. And he said, I promised that I wasn't going to talk about the negotiations publicly. But every other day I look at, I see an article talking about Deontay Wilder. Oh, Tyson Fury. Oh, Wilder won't respond to my emails. Why would they not want my help? Wilder is him and his team, they don't have the decency to respond. Every other day. But you literally said you wasn't going to publicly talk about the negotiations because that's what caused the negotiation to fall through in 2018. Did anyone hear Eddie Hearns say that? But you're literally doing the opposite of what you said you're going to do. You have to be, as an alpha male, I feel like you have to be congruent with what you say you're going to do. You specifically said, I'm not going to run to the media and keep talking about negotiations. But literally every other day or so, I see a new article where Eddie Hearns is talking about Wilder, talking about stealing Tyson Fury, talking about I sent Fury an offer, Wilder's team won't respond to the email. You just went against everything you said you was gonna do, and I think all that type of stuff at this point, stop. Like, you know, why even do that? Joshua's profile is being like demolished in the process. Like, people, no one, when Joshua fought Klitschko, he never received any of this that he's receiving right now. Nobody was mad at Joshua. Nobody was calling him name. Nobody was saying nothing. It was all good. Everything was good. Eddie loves to see his own name in the headlines. Guys can't keep his damn mouth shut to save his life. Literally every day a new Eddie Hearn interview about negotiations is posted. See? Maya just told you. That's what I'm talking about. Every day. And Eddie Hearns was saying, I'm not going to be public this time. But you are being public. Go to any major website that covers boxing on a daily and post multiple articles, and I guarantee you'll see something about Eddie Hearns talking about Wilder or Joshua, you know, or Dillian White. We sent him another offer, publicly talking about every negotiation. He said that was what the problem was last year. It's just like you won't learn. And then on top of that, just like going against what you said, on top of that, I'm telling you, what makes it even worse is when you keep saying he did. I literally seen an article and it says we've sent Dillian White a good offer. So what the fuck did you send him the first time? How can you say we sent him a good offer? What does that even mean? So you know the first offer you sent. So Dillian White is telling the truth. That, I swear that's what the article said. It said Eddie Hearn says we sent Dillian White a new offer and it's a good offer. And I'm like, what the hell? It reminds me of this time I went to Taco Bell drive-thru, right? True story, swear to God, man. I went to Taco Bell drive-thru. And it says we now use 85 or 100% ground beef in our tacos, right? There's like a little like billard or, you know, a little sign. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. 85% ground beef. Wait a minute. What the fuck have I been eating prior to this then? You know, I was kind of pissed. I almost didn't want to order nothing from Taco Bell. It said now we use like 85 or 100% ground beef in our tacos. So I'm like, what the fuck was I eating the first time? Like a month ago. I was eating dog food. Like what pedigree, motherfucker? I'm gonna grow a tail. That shit pissed me off. Like, I'm like, oh cool, they use 100% ground beef now. What the fuck was that? I'm sore wrong beside y'all had me eating some rat? What the fuck kind of meat was I eating the first time? Shout out to Keyshawn. You like the Black Panther hat? Yeah. Someone said camel meat. That's fucked up. He said camel meat. Eating camel hump and shit. That's Eddie Hearn. It's like, we sent Dillian White a good offer. Okay, so what'd you send him the first time? Some bullshit? How you gonna acknowledge that you're gonna send him a good offer now? That's weird. You know, same thing with Wilder. Oh, we've sent him a much better improved offer. Okay, so you admit that the first offer was some bullshit. You know, oh, we're sending, you know, Eddie, I'm done, bro. Eddie Hearn, I just keep thinking of more and more stuff. He literally said what failed. Shout out to Lack. He said, yes, Ego, I'm a UK fan. Appreciate you. Much love to the UK. Eddie Hearn literally said, I'm going to stop. What went wrong with the first negotiations for Joshua Wilder is we were both in the public talking too much. No, you weren't both in the public. You were in the public talking too much. And then Wilder's team was in the public going back, being interviewed and being called and text, responding to you. Eddie Hearns was the one that instigated a lot of that stuff. And then Shelly Finkel would be doing the interview, or he would be summoned or called or text to rebuttal or rebut what you said. But anyway, Eddie Hearn, he said, hey, Sean Bailey, a fool. He literally said what went wrong in the first negotiations with Joshua Wilder is we were both in the media, the public too much. I ain't heard shit from Shelly Finkel. That motherfucker, he in the Bermuda Triangle or some shit. I ain't heard. Has anyone heard anything from Shelly Finkel in the last week or so? So it wasn't everybody's team. It is your team. It's you. Where's Shelly Finkel been? This motherfucker at the Girl Collection right now, probably. Shelly Finkel like, I wanna rap, I wanna rap, I wanna rap. Shelly Finkel making it rain at the Girl Collection. I ain't heard nothing from Shelly Finkel. Shirley Winkle, Finkel, Dinkle, whatever you want to call him. Shelly Finkel, you know, he doing crossword puzzles, then going to the Girl Collection and shit. Drinking a ginger ale. I ain't heard nothing from Shelly Finkel blabbermouthing what the fuck is going on. But I keep seeing Eddie Hearn all in the video. That motherfucker Shelly Finkel at Girl Collection. Apple bottom jean, boots with a shirt. Let me buy you a drink. Shelly at the Girl Collection. Let me buy you a drink. Shorty when I'm in love with a stripper. Motherfucker. Motherfucker, Shelly Finkel listening to Tyga at the Girl Collection. Tyga? Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Shelly Finkel at Girl Collection listening to Tyga and Soulja Boy songs. What the fuck? And the only person I keep hearing from anybody's squad outside of the fighter, Tyga. Drake. Shout out to Duran Heron. Shout out to Duran Heron. $10 super chat. Keep speaking that alpha. Hashtag king. Hashtag new media. Appreciate you as always. Duran. Tyga. Like Drake. So anyway, it's Eddie Hearns who keeps doing the talking about the negotiation. I ain't heard nothing from Shelly Finkel. Literally. Shelly Finkel, he on his Machiavelli 7-day theory. I ain't seen him in 7 days at least. Suge shot me like, bomb first, bomb first when we ride. Please reconsider for you die. Like he on some Machiavelli. That motherfucker disappeared. He faked his death. I don't know where he at. He on some Machiavelli shit. But it's Eddie Hearns, the only person I keep seeing literally every day, every other day. There's an Eddie Hearns article talking about negotiations. Don't be surprised if you see Gerald Miller in this very auditorium. Wilder won't respond to my text. Then 2 days later, Wilder won't respond. I sent him 15 emails. You know, it's just not a good look, man. And it's an even worse look when Joshua keeps saying he wants all these fights, and for whatever reason, he can't get them. That's your promoter's job to nab you what you want, you know, within reason. You know? Eddie Hearns is like Donald Trump saying shit the man fans won't stop to think twice about. Well, the ones that followed that look crazy. Hey, Randy Ridley he's tripping. He doing the Soulja Boy. He said Hearns. He said a nigga that can't make the biggest fight in boxing, a nigga that keeps lying at all the interviews. Hearns. Drake. Tell me what's really going on. Drizzy back up in this. I'm ready. What's happening? Tell me. That's what I'm gonna ask Eddie Hearn. Tell me what's really going on. AJ back up in this bitch. I'm ready. What's happening? Man, It all could have been. It all could have been so simple. This dude. This dude's not even. Like, that's bad when you can't even abide by the rules you set for it. He said, I'm not gonna be public this time with this negotiation. First thing you see, Eddie Hearn says Wilder ain't hollering back. Oh my god. It's like when you ever be high or something, driving, and you with your boy or some shit, you be like, oh shit, cops behind me, don't look back. And they like, oh my god, bro. You be like, oh shit, oh, the cops behind me. Don't turn around, don't look back, just play, act cool, act normal. Like this, oh my god, I just told you don't look back. You spun your head like an owl, like the Exorcist. We all going to jail. You literally did what you said you weren't gonna. I'm not gonna make this negotiations public. I made a mistake. Few minutes later. Yeah, Wilder ain't responding to none of my emails. He don't really want to. Oh my god! I thought you wasn't gonna do this. Tell me what's really going on. Soldier boy up in this. I'm ready. Whatever. A few minutes later, right back to it. And that's what I'm saying. Al Heyman don't be doing this to his fighter. Al Heyman don't be like saying one thing and having his fighter look crazy. Hey fam, can my wife Angel get a shout out? She can't get enough of your impressions. Shout out to Angel, part of Ego's Army. We appreciate you. I don't know what impression, but thank you for tuning in. Wilder said to this day, fuck you, Eddie. Yeah, bro. He just literally said in the interview, he said, I don't even understand how nobody could even believe what Eddie is saying at this time. I'm just so flabbergasted that anyone has the audacity to believe Eddie. So yeah, man, it's not a good look when you're doing all this. Really. Like, okay, look at Keith Thurman. He didn't want no smoke with Errol Spence, at least for the time being. He got tired of asking. He got tired of talking about it. So he did the next best thing to fighting Errol Spence, and he got the monkey off his back because he just said, someone's like, yeah, are you going to keep the fans waiting? Yep, not going to happen, baby. He's like, 2018, you're not going to see it. He just said straight up, it would be much appreciated if Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearns just did that. If you're going to fight Gerald Big Baby Miller, just, cut the charade. DAZN asked Eddie Hearn at his last fight, the Demetrius Andre fight. They said he literally asked him a very direct question. He says, oh yeah, Gerald Miller, he's not going to price himself out. He really wants to fight. Chris Mannix with DAZN says, so you would say Gerald Big Baby Miller is the leading candidate for the AJ fight next? No, I wouldn't say that necessarily. Oh my God. Everything you said support that Gerald Miller was the leading candidate. And then he asked you a direct question, and you can't help but to not just say it. I'm a straight shooter. I would rather you just say, yeah, we targeted Gerald Big Baby Miller. These other fights don't look like they're going to happen. But playing like, oh yeah, we sent Tyson Fury an offer, and now Dillian White has a good offer, and Wilder, Fury, and Dillian White, they all have offers from us they can sign at any point. What? It looks crazy, and Eddie Hearn keeps doing it over and over and over. Okay, here's comment. Someone said Eddie Trump Hearn. We need to build a wall on the bullshit in boxing. Old media. Let's build a wall and put old media on the other side. You know, and all the real motherfuckers be on my side, on this side. No, but listen. AJ versus Soto Popinski. Man, he finna fight Tommy Davidson from In Living Color and shit. Anyway, look at it like this. I don't even know where to begin, bro. Like, it's so much. It's just like everything that's uttered is like a contradiction. You really got to get like a composite notebook and shit to record all this stuff. And like Eddie Hearns, luckily this ain't court, you know, where like they have like the stenographer, you know, typing all this shit, because that would be real worse, because they would have all your shit documented in one filing system as you say it. You know, new media is doing a good job of recording what's being said and whatever, but you know, I don't have it literally like the transcript typed up. You know, I'm talking about if Eddie Hearns was like on like To Catch a Predator, how it'd be like, so you just came to check on the little 13-year-old girl you thought you were meeting up with? Yeah, I mean, she could be, you know, I didn't know who was here. Like, you ever seen Home Alone? I thought burglars were coming to get her. That's the only reason you came to check on the 13-year-old girl? Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, it could be the wet bandits. And then Chris Hansen be like, all right. What about the part where you said, I got some weed, do you like to smoke that dank? What about that part? And you said, what size bra do you wear? Chris Hansen will pull up that fucking transcript to show that you a fucking liar. That's why I like To Catch a Predator, because they pull up that transcript on you. Yeah, I was just coming to check. I was just coming to check to make sure the house was secure. Okay, you just came to check. What about the part at 3:42 where you said, little Billy, are you a good kisser? What about that part? Oh, man, come on, just let me go, man. That you know, then they be begging for mercy and shit. You a fucking pedophile, dog. You know, on The Catch a Predator, they be pedophile. Come on, just let me go, man, please. Yeah, we gonna let you go. We gonna let you go in that garage. The police waiting for you. Cops want to talk to you. They wouldn't know to pick you up at. Cops want to talk to you. Yeah, we gonna let you go, all right. The cops is right out front. You go out that door. That's why I like that. That motherfucker Chris Hansen. Like, I'm not even a pedophile, but the motherfucker be scaring me. He just be popping out and shit on you. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Oh shit. Oh my god. Like, motherfucker be hiding in drawers and shit. The knife drawers and shit. Like, Billy, I'm here. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Oh shit, that motherfucker just he'll really come. He'll come from like an ottoman and shit. Like, he'll really just appear and shit. He be wearing camouflage and shit. Like, Cynthia, are you here? Yes, I'm in the room changing. I'm changing. Be out in a second. Yeah, girl, what you wearing? Oh, you know, I got a bikini on, you know. Be out in a second. Hi, I'm Chris. Oh shit, this motherfucker, Chris. Yeah, motherfucker. Like, it's not. That's disgusting. I don't have no respect for nobody that does anything to affect kids. But I just like how Chris Hansen be. Hi, I'm Chris. What are you doing here? Like, that motherfucker would just come out of nowhere and shit. It'd be a sliding glass door. He'll just, hi, I'm Chris Hansen. That motherfucker be, hey, Chris, you a real one. We gotta get these Chesters off this street. Motherfucker, Chris Hansen, he like TMZ. He just pop out on your ass. Motherfuckers listening to bad, what's her name? Bad Baby and shit. Trying to take her on dates and shit. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Yeah, catch me outside. How about that? Motherfucking Hansen. Oh, shit. Hi, I'm Chris. No. Hey, I was about to do something hella crazy and like just fly. Like I didn't want to bust my ass though. The chair was kind of turned too. I was like trying to measure it up. I was about to be, hi, I'm Chris, but I didn't want to get fucked up on this thing. You know, because it's like a gaming chair. I didn't want it to like. I was about to do it too. I didn't want to bust my shit on. We got more subscribers than DAZN. I didn't want to bust my shit in front of everybody. I was just about to do it though. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Fuck around, look like Ricky from Boys in the Hood. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Oh, my fucking face hurt, yo. I was this close to doing it, but I see I'm big, like, you know, I'm too big. I'm fuck around and and I took the closet doors off, so it's just this shit. I was finna fly through the. I had no like nothing to brace my fall. I was about to get fucked up, go through the wall and shit. Remember Arnold and Commando? When he was fighting Bill Duke, I eat green berets for breakfast, and they was throwing each other through the hotel wall. I almost did that to my. I was about to get fucked up, fucking around with y'all. Y'all bad influences. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, the governor of California. Oh my god! But I fuck with Chris. Oh my god, my cheeks really hurt from laughing. But I fuck with Chris Hansen. That motherfucker will pop out on your ass. You got that transcript waiting. So you said, how tight is your booty? Your booty hole? You know, at midnight? You said you got the Reggie? You were going to bring the Reggie to smoke. What about that part? Huh? Oh, man, please, come on, let me go, man. I can't go out there. I can't go out there. The cops are waiting for me. Yeah, motherfucker. They waiting for your ass. Have a seat. That motherfucker be punking you too. That's how you know you a Chester. When another man tell you to have a seat and you really just sit down, he be like, no. Like, can I leave? Can I leave? Have a seat. Hey. Chris Hansen tell your ass to sit down. Your ass gotta sit down. Hell nah. Chris Hansen be bossing up on these motherfuckers. I like that. They need to do the show with Denzel. Yeah, okay, so you want to take Billy out, huh? What you was gonna go see? The movies? Yeah, I didn't know you like preteens, though. Young, adolescent, teen. Young, dumb, full of cum. I didn't know you like teens. That's what you came to pick up. Yeah, they need to let Denzel do that show. That motherfucker will punk you. Yeah, that's $25,000 alpaca. You said that. Like, oh, shit. Wow, y'all bringing up Kels. Hey, Kane, you ain't shit. We both in the ain't shit club. He said, I like when they walk out casually only to have the cops rush them. That's what I'm saying. They be having them Goldberg ass cops that like spear them and shit. Just, and then like really spear them. Hey, Goldberg used to fuck people up with that spear. I miss that. Anyway, my face hurts from laughing. This Chris Hansen shit got me. I'm out. Holla at the kid. Eddie Harris, you gotta do something, baby. Get on the ground now. Yeah, you ever been to the booty house, huh? Yeah, they got a lot of room for you in the booty house. I'm out. Holla at the kid. We working. I told you, 2019, this is our year. We just having fun with it. Old media, I don't know what they gonna do. That's what happens when you don't keep it a buck. Holla. Thank you guys for the support, for tuning in. We just working. The livest live stream, the most entertainment, the most entertaining. Y'all know what it is. I got some new videos on the channel. Check those. Shout out to the super chats. We got a new channel member earlier today. I think a couple. So we just grinding. Peace out.